Hello and thanks for joining us on this Wednesday night WBBL action between the travelling Nottingham Wildcats and your Caledonia Pride. My name is Rory Anton and I'm delighted to be joined by Rona Lightbody. Tonight's matchup will be a difficult one for the Pride. Nottingham come into this one off of the back of a tough trophy final defeat to London Lions. Rona, we both watched that one back. What did you make of that one?
Yeah, I think firstly it was great to see that the game was on Sky Sports, so to really push the women's game out there and hopefully get some new people watching the sport. And BA are a very well-oiled machine, so I think that with Jasmine's injury early on in the game is hugely unfortunate. But I do think I had BA as odds on to maybe go out and win that, just with how their form has been recently. But yeah, shame to see Jasmine go down injured, but I do think the Nottingham team still rallied round and managed to put on a good show.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Rona, Jasmine Joyner picking up an injury in that one, and we'd like to wish her a speedy recovery as she looks to get back on the floor. Let's hope it's sometime soon. Nottingham obviously tend to play a lot through high ball screens between the Chattanooga to Joyner and Schumpert, both playing together at the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga for 4 years. Just how much of an adjustment will that be, and what can we expect to see from this Wildcats offense without Joyner on the floor?
I think it's like anything, a player going down, everybody sort of has to rally around and step up. And I think, Nottingham have got some fabulous players in their team, and I think a lot of them will relish potentially the extra court time. You saw at the weekend, Edinburgh coming in probably earlier than she would have thought, but she did a great job on the boards and getting the points, and Lundqvist as well. She was still a force to be reckoned with inside. So I think, they'll potentially stick with a similar game plan, but Schumpert, she might be looking to take a few extra more shots. But I do think, if they can get in and crash the boards and sort of pick up where Joyner was great on the boards for them, that would be great. They pretty much had to play a full game already without her. They've had a few days back in training to sort of recover and reset themselves mentally. So yeah, I think they'll be up for this game tonight, and I think they'll know the gaps they've got to fill, and they'll be ready to do that.
Yeah, definitely, Rona, and a big loss. Obviously, Joyner, one of the top players in this league, averaging phenomenal 19.5 points and 10.5 rebounds. But last time out, when these two sides met, it was a 46-point deficit that separated the two sides. And for Pride, they will no doubt be looking at this one to be used as a barometer of their improvement. Maud had a 28-point game last time round, shooting 7 of 14 from behind the arc. Rona, I know you're obviously a big fan of Maud and what she brings to the table, but what have you liked from her so far this season?
I think, she's come into this Pride team. It's her first season in the WBBL, and I think stamped her authority within the team. She gets it done. We've seen her have come up with some great hustle plays. And like you said, her shooting percentage is phenomenal, especially from behind the arc. She was unfortunate in the Durham game. She wasn't really able to get that going. But she still is there for her teammates. She's able to, facilitate others. And whether it's rebound or assistance, she seems to find her place and give what the team needs. But yeah, you've mentioned that's who I've been enjoying watching this season. What about yourself, Rory? Who's been one for you to watch that you've enjoyed in the Pride team?
Yeah, I think for me, Shan Phillips kind of goes without saying. I think sometimes Shan has what some people would describe as a quiet game, but she just no matter what, like even if the ball's not dropping for her that night, I think she just always gives 120%, and does the little things well, which we all know is a massive thing to do when you're having a rough night. Just do the simple things well, and that can really contribute and help the team. And I think Shan does a great job of that. But another one to note of recent, I think Rose Harvey coming into the side has shot the ball phenomenally well and can be an outside threat, and has hit some really important threes at big times for the Pride in the last few weeks. So that would be my other one. I'm going to cheat the system and have two, but I'm sure you'll let me off with it.
On this occasion. No, I will, but no, I'll back you up with him as well. I think it's great to see. There's no one player within Pride, that's doing it all. They all seem to work for each other. And I think you'd agree they're sort of starting to find their systems, find where they slot within it. I guess that's the problem when you step up to a higher level. Teams do change far more regularly than maybe a rec team or a uni team, who you're maybe together 2, 3, 4 years. So I think Pride are settling into themselves, and hopefully we'll get a great game out of them tonight.
Yeah, definitely. And with that, we have some team news for you for Nottingham, with Chelsea Shumpert will be pronunciation. I've no doubt got that wrong. Costa for Caledonia, with Maud Ranger, Pollyanna Story, and Durham, and Nottingham obviously posting some size with their starting lineup in Pride. With that, Elise Tweedy coming into the starting lineup from the Pride from the weekend, and she is coming off of a great performance against Durham in that one. And Pollyanna Story, who has been struggling ever so slightly since coming back from injury, has kind of sparked some form more of recent. And Rona, what are you looking forward to seeing from Polly today? She had a great matchup, obviously, against her fellow countryman, Claire Paxton. What do you think the keys will be for Polly to get going early in this one?
I think it's her confidence. It's just her getting into it, playing some good defence, not getting herself called early for fouls. I mean, I could be calling it wrong, but I think that's maybe what's thrown her off her game. She's picking up quite a few fouls earlier on. It's thrown her off her rhythm, and she's then playing up and can get herself, because the last thing you want to do is pick up a third or a fourth early in the second or the third. So I think she can keep herself out of foul trouble. Just do the good things well, like she did in the Durham game. I'm sure she'll take some confidence from that and hopefully build on it tonight.
Yep, definitely. And with that, just moments to go until we see opening tip-off here tonight in the WBBL Championship game. Both teams huddling up. Final words from coaches as we look to get started in this 6 p.m. tip-off.
Rory, what do you think Coach Donny McDonald's last words of encouragement are over there? He seems quite animated.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, having watched Pride these last few weeks, I think the game against Essex, we saw a very different Pride side to the game against Durham, and I think he'll just be asking for that extra bit of energy from the team. I think we both probably could agree that we felt that was missing at the weekend. But in previous games, when this Pride team get going, they're a tough group to beat, and when they're together and putting in a team performance, they can be real contenders with anyone in this league. So I think just asking for that little extra burst of energy, and I think with having a young team starting the game well and starting the game early can be such a key component to that.
Yes, I'd agree. And you just missed Coach Bart doing some of his defensive slides again, just reminding the girls how it's done.
Don't worry, I thought I was going to leave him out with a comment this week, but it's always a highlight of mine.
Yeah. I mean, personally, I'd say it could get a bit lower, but potato, potato.
And so the players taking the knee in support of the Black Lives Matter movement, and we will now get underway in tonight's game between Nottingham Wildcats and your Caledonia Pride. Nottingham starting with one inside as she backs down on Tweedy. Can't get that one to go. And manages to swing it back round and gets an open look underneath the basket. And so the Wildcats will open up the scoring here tonight. Ella Docherty to the basket. Bring the ball up the floor, manages to extend that left hand. Yeah, a great finish from the young Scottish guard. Good jab step, gets the lane, but can't get that one to fall. Maud Rongier with it, guarded by Chelsea Schumpert. Tweedy with it at the top. Rongier drives middle. Cut off by Schumpert, gets the shot to go but can't get it to fall, and so Schumpert comes up with the rebound now. Schumpert with an early long two, can't get it to go.
That seems to be that mid-range that she really enjoys shooting from.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the Wildcats offense tends to run through Joyner setting that high ball screen for Schumpert to come off and get that, as you said, mid-range jump shot. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see more of that today, as Lundqvist cutting to the basket manages to get the easy two.
Yeah, it was great to see by Pride at the top. They were solid.
Yeah, definitely. And that cutting action did kind of hurt the Pride against Durham. We saw Elderkin coming off that cut and scoring early. So far, Pride have had an answer for the Wildcats, and so they'll go out in front, leading early in this ball game. And Egaraba is fouled underneath the basket. I believe that one was on Tweedy, Rona?
It was indeed. She just got her hands in at the last moment. That's another one of those ones, straight up D. When there's balls there, the ball's there. And she's just reached a little bit far. Am I right in saying German international?
Yeah.
At junior level?
Yeah. And played for them as she looks to knock down this free throw. Can't make it, but gets her own rebound and finds Costa underneath the basket, who's also fouled, and she'll go to the line.
I think that might come up on Elise again, which is unfortunate, 2 quick fouls. or potentially Polly. She's holding her hand up.
And so Costa gets the first to go. Can't go 2 for 2, and it's going to be a foul on the rebounder. And so I believe Lundqvist picks up that one on Shan Phillips.
Yeah, I mean, Pride just needs to do a better job of stepping up the lane there, you know, getting them boxed out.
And Costa manages to get a deflection, comes off Story, and so it will be Nottingham ball on the far side. Schumpert controlling the floor for Nottingham. Lundqvist driving, but Story with the block manages to get it to come off the driving guard, and so it will be Pride basketball underneath the basket. Doherty with the ball guarded by Schumpert. Finds Phillips, and Story closely guarded by Costa, and it will be a foul as she was trying to deflect the pass.
Bit of a mismatch there with Polly, so you wonder if she'll try and stick herself inside against the smaller Costa. Indeed, she will.
Yeah, she looks to pin the guard underneath the basket, and Maud Rongier with her first 3 of the night. And so Pride will shoot off to a 3-point lead this time. Schumpert with it. Pulls the 3, gets it to go.
She's so good at that, coming up and just quick fire release.
Maud goes inside to Story on the mismatch. Left-handed hook shot, no
Nice
good.
Look. Right idea.
Costa driving lane, can't get the layup to go. I think she was expecting contact, and so Pride come up with it in the open floor. Rongier puts up a 3. Can't get it to drop.
Well rebounded by Ella there. It's not like Pride, you know, to not all be back there in that transition D, but somehow they seem to be outnumbered under the basket.
Yeah, it's been a great start from Pride here. I've managed to have an answer for the Wildcats so far. Ella Doherty off the down screen from Story. Finds a cutting Rongier. Kick back out to Doherty, driving on her strong hand, and she's fouled underneath the basket.
Nice take there by Ella. That's what she's good at, you know, getting to the rim. She's definitely been on a few highlight tapes with putting some people on skates and ball behind the back and various bits. It's where she really excels.
And so Siobhan Pryor has checked into the ball game along with Maria Olawayan. Olawayan drives baseline. Kicks, and Praise showing her frustration there, fouled underneath.
Yeah, she did a good job there of drawing the contact. Eva, I think, you know, she's come out her cylinder with that one.
And she goes 2 from 2 on that visit to the line.
Yeah, she's really asserting herself in there in the paint. drawing fouls and scoring buckets. Pride will need to keep an eye on that.
Moranger with it, receives the ball screen, driving left hand into traffic. Can't get that one to go, but Eva Kerr with the hustle manages to get the jump ball. And so it will stay with Pride. Moranger on this near side now. Kicks to Phillips, driving on Pryor. Good step through, gets it to fall.
Great finish. Shan has such nice footwork.
Yeah, so controlled underneath the basket and sees the defender well and manages to get round them. So almost makes it look easy.
She's giving me all the ideas for next season.
Good baseline play to find the open man for Nottingham, but it's going to be a foul.
I think that'll be Eva's second as well.
Yeah. Becky Duomo will go to the line for the first time tonight, makes the first. Shan Phillips finds Docherty out in transition. Almost gets the and one, but she'll go to the line to shoot two.
Pride's doing a good job, of attacking at the hoop, but then, they found mods for that shot, and I think doing a great job at the moment. They're just going to have to find a way to plug it in the key with Nottingham, because that's two of their bigs already on 2 fouls.
And Ella Docherty makes 2 of 2. And the Pride full court press manages to come up with a steal, and so Pride have the ball underneath the basket. Chance to go 3 points up. Rose Harvey, who's checked in for the first time tonight. 3 balls just off. Shumpert kicks to Pryor, whose drive is no good. But looks like Lundqvist has come up with the steal.
A lot of fouls, like I said, just in and around that same little patch. Pride just, needing to take care of their man and go for ball.
Yeah, both teams climbing up the foul count early here. And so that last foul will take Pride into the penalty. Feel like it's kind of been all we've talked about this season is managing foul trouble for Pride, and especially in the post. And I think that could be, this has got the early makings of the same situation.
Definitely. Great take to the hoop there.
Moranger with it on the wing. Shan Phillips, baseline drive, kicked out and swung to Rongier for the open 3. Great ball movement from the Pride to get the open shot. And that's going to be a traveling violation called on Becky Duomo as she looked to drive to the basket. Ella Docherty did a good job of stepping in front. And so Pride will come up with the ball. Rongier drives into the paint. Can't get the jumper to go. And so Costa bringing the ball up the floor for the Wildcats. Tia Freeman finds Lundqvist in the high post. She looks to put up a shot, and referee thought about calling foul, but it was clean from Story. Yeah. Ella Docherty can't get the floater to go over the top of Costa, and Costa coming up with a rebound. Looking to slow it down here.
Good active feet there from Polly.
Again, a slight hesitation on a foul call. Yeah. And so Nottingham come up with the ball. Costa driving, shot clock winding down, turnaround jumper from Lundqvist, no good. And Ella Docherty with the rebound for the Pride. Docherty to Phillips. Phillips driving right. Back to her left now and kicks out to, I believe, Sophie Loughran, who was looking to check into the game. And so that will be a turnover.
That's one of those ones, depth and perception. It just wasn't on the court, unfortunately.
Great pass. I mean, she was open, so.
Yeah, I'd blame the receiver
Good
on that
board.
one as well.
And Monranger puts up another three. It just falls out. And so Nottingham ball underneath the basket. We'll see a little bit of full court pressure once again here from Pride.
And, that's just going to grind teams down. We've talked about that before. It's tiring. Just makes you have to play the entire way up the court.
Definitely.
And with under the basket there.
Nottingham, who don't tend to go too deep into their bench. And with some players missing tonight, it'll be interesting to see if that plays out for the Pride. And Taryn Cummings caught in the open floor, but couldn't get the layup to go.
It's one of those ones, sometimes I say when you're so open, it's the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, you have almost too much time to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of just putting it in the basket.
Going with it.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Rose Harvey with the ball at the point now finds Phillips in the high post. Kicked out to Loughran with the ball fake. Dribbles left and can't get that pull up to go. Tia Freeman pushing the floor now. Good hustle from Shan Phillips to put pressure on the ball handler, and Pride come up with it. Rose Harvey with the hesitation, drives back to her left. Kick to Rongier, who puts up mid-range jumper and can't get it to go. It's interesting. Schumpert hasn't really handled the ball a lot here in this second half of the first quarter. And so it swung back to her. Yeah. And that'll be one that Pride will have to watch closely because you don't want to switch off on her. Shan Phillips again with the step through. Fouled as she went up.
Pride have that, it's a bit of a smaller lineup at the moment. There's no Polly, there's no Elise on the floor, no Eva. So, they're going to have to look to get the ball out and run with it. That's going to be their asset at the moment. And same thing on that full court D.
And so Shan makes the first of her 2 free throws. And the game will go to a 1-point game. And now tied up with just 43 seconds left in this first quarter. Costa bring the ball up for the Wildcats. Good on-ball pressure from Cummins. Schumpert driving right. Nice and controlled, manages to get that layup to go.
Like a layup drill. slice through the defence.
And Shumpert coming up with a steal on Rose Harvey. And so the Wildcats will have a chance to extend their lead as they hold for the final shot of the quarter. And Shumpert gets that floater to go. She's so dangerous off the dribble, and once you saw her gather up speed, it was always going to result in 2 points for Nottingham as the first quarter of action comes to a close. Nottingham lead 22-18 against Caledonia Pride.
It's been a good game so far. I think just going back to what you said about the fouls and racking them up early, I think sometimes that comes with being younger players. You know, they've played National League before against more sort of their own age. They're not used to maybe the physicalities of the game, or also, you know, once you get to senior level, people are taller, they're stronger, they're fitter, they're faster. You know, there's a much bigger age range around you. So I think that's definitely one of the learning curves they have coming into this league, being as young as a lot of them are, and it's just having to learn and adjust to that. And it's good to see, you know, them taking on board what's happened in previous games, and you can see they've worked on it, and you can see they are trying to, you know, keep their hands up, and you can see them talking about it and just trying to learn from those mistakes, because, you know, that's all you can do is learn, understand what happened, and then try to put it behind you and move on.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, obviously, we talked about at the start of the game, just bringing that energy, and Pride have no doubt got off to a great start here and trying to up the tempo against Nottingham, and it's really stopped Nottingham from getting their offense from flowing. And we've obviously already seen that switch to go to Costa, bring the ball up the floor, try and get Shumpert on an off the ball look. And interestingly enough, Ella Docherty with 6 points already in this game, so a great start to the game for Ella.
Definitely, and I think, you know, with Pride, we know Shan's put up some great numbers recently, Maud's put up some great numbers, but Rose has recently come out, put up some great numbers. Polly's had, you know, consistency. With Pride, you're never very sure who should be the one you stop or who should be the one you focus on, because the others will have been stepping up and putting in their shift. You know, even Taryn, she's maybe not putting up the numbers points-wise, but what she's bringing on the defensive end and just her energy in general has been a real good asset to the team. So lots for other teams to have to think about and scout them out with.
And so the second quarter of action just coming up, and Nottingham Wildcats will get this second quarter on the way. Shumpert now running the point for the Wildcats. Siobhan Pryor with it on the outside, gets that shot to go. A long two for the Wildcats. Maud
Great
driving to the basket. Just can't get the finish. Taryn Cummins, with great defense on Costa, but Costa manages to use her size and gets that layup to go. And so an 8-point lead now for the Wildcats. Story with it, finds Rose Harvey cutting. A great
find. What's really good to see is Pride seem to have answers for what's been thrown at them at the moment. That's really good, because their shooting and scoring was a bit patchy against Durham, but today, you know, they've come right back at it, and they seem comfortable and they seem confident in what they're doing. They're attacking, they're shooting. It's good play to see by them.
Yeah, and a quick timeout there called from the Pride coaching staff just to kind of stop that early run from the Wildcats, as they went on a 6-2 run to start this one after only a minute being played. And no doubt the Pride will just be looking to relax things and try and adjust a couple of plays in the open floor and in transition. So no doubt asking players to sprint back.
Yeah, you do wonder, you know, a lot of their games have been 3 o'clock Saturday, Sundays. Does it affect them it being midweek Wednesday? You know, what training have they had in the lead up to this? All these small things, these 1% we talk about, that could make things a little bit different. So, you know, but I think, you know, it seems to be suiting them at the moment. They've come out all guns blazing. They're firing on all cylinders, and I think it's been a great positive start.
Yeah, definitely. And as a coach, it's one of those timeouts you make because you don't want the game to get away from you. But I don't think there's any major adjustments for Pride to be considering. As you said, they've had an answer for everything so far. And it looks like we'll see a 2-3 from Nottingham as Modronje puts up the 3. Good hustle from Cummings, tries to come up with the ball, but falls out of bounds, and so it will be Nottingham basketball.
Nottingham really sharing that point guard position, aren't they?
Yeah, and Tia Freeman this time manages to get to the bucket and scores with ease off of that horns action. Freeman with it again. Looks to pull 3. Can't get it to go. Modronje slowing it down. Saw there was Nottingham had enough defenders back, and so Pride will look to get into their offense. Ella Docherty driving left, gets it to go. Ella having a great start to this game.
Yeah, she definitely seems to have found her feet since she's come back.
Yeah. Again, a horns action from Nottingham, but this time it will be Costa to the basket. Ella Docherty with it, finds Story down low. Story backing down on their defender, but ball's poked away, and Freeman with the easy layup in transition, and so it'll be another timeout from Donny McDonald as the Wildcats extend their lead to 12.
You wonder if he's maybe just going to bring them in, like you say, try and settle them again, go through the zone options that they've got and how to work off that. I think it's more actually, it's not something we usually say, but you notice that their mods, you know, She-Kate was coming down the floor in a fast break. There was already 3 Nottingham players there. There wasn't many Pride options around her. And same getting back, you know, it's a couple of breakaway open layups Nottingham managed to have against Pride. And, you know, we know that they Pride, for want of a better word, themselves in there. They're sort of hustling back and getting down the floor. So I think, you know, that's maybe something that the coaches might not be happy with. But, you know, Pride are getting it done in other ways. So it's potentially about just getting it all to come together.
Yeah, definitely. This Pride team are known for trying to push the tempo, and their transition offense and defense is something they excel at. And so I think they'll be asking for that extra effort to get back to that and try and stop this Nottingham run. Just under 7.5 minutes to play in the first half.
Yes, this is when, you know, you don't want the game to get any further away from you in quick succession.
And so Ella Docherty brings the ball up for the Pride. Pollyanna Story with it now on the 3-point line. Ronje back to Story. Story with the 3, gets it to go. And so hopefully that will up the morale of this Pride team as they look to cut down this lead from 10 as Schumpert swings it to Pryor. Pryor finds Freeman on the far side, and Freeman tried to find a cutting Lundqvist, but unfortunately she couldn't gather it, and so it'll be Pride basketball. Modranger finds Story, looks to get a cutting Shan Phillips, but pass is a little wayward, and so it'll be Nottingham basketball. Shumpert brings it over the timeline for the Wildcats. Shumpert to her left and then back to her right. Manages to get Maud out of her stance and makes the easy 2. Shan Phillips. Ella Docherty in traffic, tries to get it to go, can't get it to go, and Pride coming down with the rebound both times, but just could not get a shot underneath the basket to fall. And Nottingham coming back the other end, and Lundqvist is found underneath the basket for the easy 2.
Just that transition again, where were they? Charge on
so
Ella.
Ella Docherty was driving to the basket there. She got the shot to fall, but it is going to be a offensive foul on Ella Docherty.
That's unfortunate, and I mean that's similar to the controversial Troy charge that we've been talking about before this game.
Yeah, definitely, and both Bart Singers and Donnie McDonald not happy with that one. And I can't say I could blame them. Yeah. And so Costa then look set up in the horns action. Costa with the shot. Ella Docherty closely guarded, but manages to come up with the behind the back to get away from the defender, but can't get that shot to go either. And so Pride just struggling to get points on the board in this little spell here. Again, Modranger trying to pick up her teammates.
It's just a bit, I think the girls will be a little bit tighter now, and that always makes it harder to score.
Shot doesn't fall for Nottingham, but they've come up with the offensive rebound, and Lundqvist diving on the floor with Sophie Leslie, and so it will be Nottingham ball underneath the basket. And I believe a timeout from Nottingham.
Yeah, I think Pride, under the basket, I can see they're sort of helping and hedging and recovering. But I think, a little bit more commitment to that help. I mean, it's hard because the coaches might not want that from them, but I think sometimes they're getting stuck in one-on-ones, and that's when they're getting to the basket and getting that easy hoop. You at least want to step a little bit harder into the lane or get your hands up that bit higher to try and put them off and make them think that it's not as good an option or an easy option for getting to that basket and getting that score. Because at the moment, they're kind of getting to dictate what they want to do down the offensive end, Nottingham, and Pride are just going to have to find a way to sort of throw them off their rhythm.
Yeah, definitely. And Pride getting good looks, but just not getting it to fall. And that can be a frustration in itself when you're getting good looks and you can't get the ball to go through the hoop. And so they just have to be patient with it and know that the shots will come. Don't try and force anything.
Yeah, still plenty of basketball to be played in this game.
And so Nottingham inbound the ball, and Pollyanna Story doing a great job of tying up Lundqvist in the corner as the shot clock's winding down. Wildcats will have 3 seconds to play with. Shumpert with it through the legs, off balance 3. But once again, Nottingham coming up with the O board. They'll get another shot at it. Costa off the ball screen from Lundqvist. Did a great job of hedging and recovering. Yeah.
There you go.
Story with the ball on the wing now. Rongier guarded by Schumpert. Shan Phillips driving into the lane, takes a jump shot but can't get it to go. And Rongier comes up with the rebound. And it's going to be a foul called on Praise Egaraba as Shan Phillips was trying to back her down. Maud Rongier with the long two gets it to go. So the first basket for quite some time here for the Pride, and hopefully that'll settle them down in this second quarter.
That last foul was on Rebecca, I've just realised, because that would have put Praise onto her third, which should have been quite spicy for Nottingham.
Ah, gotcha. Apologies there.
They're both powerhouses in there, that's for sure.
So Shan Phillips looks to inbound the ball, and it's picked off by Costa. Shan Phillips with the foul on Duomu underneath the basket.
You know, Nottingham just playing Pride at their own game on that one. Scoring, turning round, full court.
And Shan Phillips inbounds to Ella Docherty, and so she'll bring the ball up for the Pride, guarded closely by Costa. Oh, and Maud with the step back, kicks it to Story, can't get the shot to fall. And so baseline out of bounds for the Pride. Shot clock's at 5. Maud Rongier with it in the corner. Front iron, can't get it to go. Lundqvist comes up with it, but good hustle from Sophie Leslie, and Pride come up with the ball. Story with the easy two. And Pride throw on a bit of pressure themselves. Schumpert with it, driving right. Needs to go up, and Sophie Leslie was there in the help and called for the foul.
You know, Shumpert's just so good at that. She knows where she wants to go and she'll get herself there. Very good at, you know, weaving her way through. Such fast hands as well.
Schumpert once again coming off the ball screen to her right. Can't get the shot to go. Yeah, as you mentioned, Schumpert's so good at coming back to her left hand, and once you almost think she's going that way, and then in a flash crosses over to the right and takes you to the basket. It's tough guard for anyone. Shan Phillips down low on Duomu and gets the step through to go, and so she'll go to the line for a 3-point play opportunity.
Nice patient offense there. Found Shan in the low blocks. And then she went off with that fancy footwork again.
Yeah, Pride just in the last minute or so easing their way back in offensively and managing to find the shots that they want. And Shan will convert the 3-point play. Shan Phillips, who, by the way, is averaging a double-double this season. No surprise to you and me, Rona, but still brilliant numbers nonetheless. Sophie Leslie, what a great bounce pass. Finds Story in the paint. And so that will cut this lead down, but an answer from the Wildcats straight away in transition. Holly bring the ball up the floor for the Pride. Shan Phillips likes the look of this matchup as she backs down with it on Ola Wayne. And that's going to be 2 shots coming up for Shan Phillips.
Yeah, good to see that she's identified she's got a bit of a mismatch there and she's just going to work on it.
Yeah, and there will be a little bit of foul trouble for the Wildcats here early. Both Duomu and Egaraba on 2. And so the lead is back to 10, and Shumpert brings the ball up the floor for the Wildcats. And Costa driving, finds Lundqvist underneath the basket, can't get it to go. And a good board from Elise Tweedy. Ella Docherty driving all the way and fouled from Freeman underneath the basket, and so she'll go to the line now. Hope Pride have been practicing their free throws this week, because I think they could be going to the line a lot here.
Been shooting well from the free throw lines far, and that's the thing, you know, you've got to be able to go knock them down. But I think this will be a out of bounds ball on the floor, I think they called it.
Yeah, which is a bit of a surprise to me. It didn't look like she was fouled on her way to the basket. Kicked out to Phillips, who finds Cummings on the far side.
Nice step through.
Yeah, she had no other option there. Picked up her dribble, but manages to find an opening and almost gets it to go. And it'll be Pride basketball.
The referees are certainly being kept busy tonight, that's for sure.
Rongier kicks to Cummings. Now Shan Phillips with it, driving into the paint, and another bucket for Shan Phillips. And she has been phenomenal for Pride in this second quarter. She extends to 11 points on the night. Tia Freeman driving, fouled. Is that one going to be on the floor?
No, two shots.
It's going to be 2 shots. I mean, I don't see too much of a difference between that one and Ella's, but who am I to judge?
That's why you're the commentator, Rory, and not the referee.
Exactly.
It's okay, you'll get your chance at halftime, Rory, to show off your rules knowledge. Can't wait.
And yeah, really looking forward to it. Lundqvist with the spin move, can't get it to go, but manages to steal the ball from Tweedy, who'd rebounded. And so Pride will have the last possession of the half. No, they won't, as Shan Phillips looks to get an easy one. And Pride come up with the ball now. Maud Rangier with the ball in her hands. 10 seconds left on the clock. Ella Docherty with it. Kicks to Phillips. Gets a good look, but just a little shy. And so this one will finish first half of action, and it will be Nottingham Wildcats 47, Caledonia Pride 37. And so we will give a quick thanks to our sponsors and be back with you to chat at halftime. Hello, and we're back for another halftime show, and Rona is going to come up with some quick-fire questions, I believe, for me.
Oh, I do.
So hopefully I won't embarrass myself too much.
I think we'll call this Rory's Rules Interpretations.
Okay.
So I just thought it'd be quite useful. I know we have some people watching that are maybe parents, family members, friends who could be new to basketball, so we thought we would maybe cover some of the rules. So Rory, how can you earn some free throws in a game of basketball? So we talk about free throws a lot. Girls go to free throw line. People aren't allowed to touch them when they're shooting. How does that situation come about in a game of basketball?
Yeah, so not to go too technical, but essentially a defender has, and Rona mentioned it just earlier in the commentary, has their cylinder, so they've got to stay straight up. And if a defender comes out of that cylinder as you're going to shoot and makes contact with you, then you earn yourself 2 shots at the line. Now, if you make that shot, you get 1 free throw and an opportunity to make a 3-point play, which we talk about quite a bit. Shan Phillips has a good record of making those. And so that's how you get essentially a shooting foul. And you'll see, in various other leagues, good offensive players will manipulate that. So they'll look to get defenders off balance. And as soon as those hands come down or, their body's off balance, they'll look to drive at the body and then fake up into a shot. And that can earn themselves some free throws.
Great. And what happens on a 3-point shot if you get fouled? Because obviously that you've already potentially got the 3 points.
Yeah, so if you make the 3, then you would have an opportunity at a 4-point play, which is obviously very impressive. And then if you were fouled on a 3-point shot that you miss, you would have an opportunity to shoot 3. So essentially you shoot for the value of shot that you were disadvantaged by the defender fouling you.
Great. And then something we talked about in the past game, what is a timeout? What is a timeout? Why do coaches use them?
Yeah, so essentially coaches are given timeouts, so you get 2 in the first half, 3 in the second half. You can't roll, so if you don't use your 2 in the first half, you lose them. And then a fairly newer rule is you can't use more than 2 in the last 2 minutes of the game. So again, there's kind of a stipulation of not essentially saving up all your timeouts to then use them at the end of the game. And so essentially a timeout can be taken for various things. Sometimes coaches might take them to freeze a free throw shooter. So if it's a tight game, They might take them when the opposition have free throws, and so essentially that makes the free throw shooter have to sit and think about hitting some important free throws during a timeout. But also it gives the coaches an opportunity to have a chat with their team and also draw up plays. So, for example, in this game, we've seen a couple of timeouts from Caledonia Pride when Nottingham have gone on a run, and so it gives a coach a chance to take a timeout, relax his players, maybe pick up on a few things that have kind of forced that run for the opposition, and it just allows them to kind of catch their breath. Sometimes you'll also see coaches use it as a breather. So if they don't go heavily into the rotations, they maybe play their starting five the whole game. Instead of using subs, they might use a timeout to allow players to catch their breath. There's 100 ways probably for coaches to use them.
I think I'll let you
those
off.
are probably the key ones for me.
I think you've given quite a good few ones. And is there anything, how would you phrase it? Is there anything special about calling a timeout in the last 2 minutes if you're going to have possession of the ball that they can do different?
Yeah, so in the last 2 minutes of the game, you can call a timeout and you can advance the ball. And so if you're the trailing team and you're getting an opportunity to advance the ball, you can then essentially, as a coach, draw up a half-court set to try and get that shot that you want. So if you desperately need a three-point shot to cut down the deficit, you can draw up a play to get your best three-point shooter open. On the opposite side, you might choose not to advance the ball if you're leading the game because you can burn more time on the clock. But then if you turn the ball over underneath your own basket, you give them an easy two. And again, it's just kind of, as coaches, it's what you kind of believe in, what's your philosophy, is the kind of reasoning for why you use them differently. Obviously, I will say I get so confused still when I watch the NCAA men's tournament because they obviously don't have that advance the ball rule. And so don't be like me and scream at the TV in the last 2 minutes for a coach to take the ball and take a timeout and advance the ball. And so there's different rules for different leagues, but essentially you can advance the ball in the last 2 minutes, and that's the advantage of kind of keeping those timeouts to the last 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm. I know we discussed it with Donny in the last game, and I actually went away and asked him, and I said, we thought you were going to advance the ball up the court, and you didn't. You went full down. And he did say he was looking at getting some momentum. So, like you say, different coaches have different ways they want to do that. Well, I'll let you know, Rory, you have passed this week's Rory's Rules Interpretations. Good. So you can move on to level 2 next week. But,
can I get a bonus point as well? Can we throw in a bonus point?
I mean,
you'll also see. Okay, going back to timeouts, you'll also see a lot of, like, if you watch the NBA or the WBBL, quite often they'll not take timeouts in a close game. And that really is a position where a coach trusts his players and knows they're really experienced and that they can pull off that game-winning shot without having to come and listen to me. They know what we're doing. Or maybe they just know the offenses so well that you've already kind of instructed them on that, that they sometimes opt not to use the timeouts. There's my bonus point.
I'm sure it's worth an extra point, but thank you for that information. So what we also have is I was in touch with Jenna Beattie, who has sometimes been captain for Pride, and unfortunately she's not able to play at the moment due to restrictions and whatever else, but she has sent me over some fun and interesting facts about some of the members of the Pride team, and I want to see if you can put a player name to the facts. Now, these are great. So who in the team has a rubber duck collection of over 150? So over 150 rubber ducks. Who in the Pride team is harbouring that secret obsession?
Wow. And we've just put them out on air in front of everyone. I don't know.
I mean, I really want to see the collection now. We need to get that on social media.
Yeah, we'll need to get some social media on that. I don't know. I'm gonna.
He looks like a rubber duck fanatic.
I feel so bad that if I say it now and it's not right. Oh, coaches, I don't know. I'm gonna go for Rose.
Incorrect. It's actually Jenny. So she's not played in a game recently, but that is her fun fact. She has a collection of over 150 rubber ducks. Okay, you ready for number 2?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Who can speak 4 languages?
4 languages.
And just as a little extra, and they can also deadlift 115 kilos. So some solid numbers there.
That is some solid numbers. Some of my friends would probably say that's more than I can deadlift, so it's probably true.
Probably true.
I'm going to say Maud.
I knew that would be what you would guess. Incorrect. Maela. 4 languages, okay. Deadlifting 115 kilos, which is excellent.
That is
number
phenomenal.
3.
I'm not doing very well at this, am I?
No, you're not. You're not. Who won an eating competition in Iceland? Now, I don't know if they mean the country or if they mean like Kerry Katona, Iceland, so they were down eating the chicken nuggets and chips. I assume they mean the country. I'm not sure. I'll need to check that one out. If they were down their local Iceland or the country. So they won an eating competition.
In Iceland?
Either the country or the shop, I'm not sure which.
That stumped me. I really don't know.
I know. I told you. Interesting. They're playing today.
Shan?
It was. Correct. She won an eating competition in Iceland. But like I say, we need to clarify if it was turkey dinosaurs or if it was Icelandic food. Okay, last one for today. Whose ambition as a child was to be a taxi driver?
Wow. To be a taxi driver. Polly?
Get all the chat. No, it was not. I'll give you a second guess. I don't know if they mean a black hack or an Uber. I don't know if they've got a preference.
That's difficult. Sophie Loughran?
No, I can imagine Sophie's a taxi driver though. No, Rose. Rose wanted to be a taxi driver when she was a child.
Oh wow.
Who would have known?
I like that.
I know. Me too.
Amazing.
Yeah, I think I'll save the others for next week. But there's some real crackers to come. But I was like, that is interesting. I feel like, good to get to know the girls and get to know who it is on the court out there.
Yeah, definitely. And if you haven't already, head over to the Caledonia Pride website. There's more information on each of the players' profiles, and you really get to kind of know a bit more about them, which clearly I need to read up on.
I mean, I don't think it would be one of your first questions, some of these. So you'd be like, anyone ever won an eating competition? So we'll let you off with that, but you get top marks for your reels, Rory, so we'll get to keep our jobs for another week, I'm sure.
Good. Mm-hmm. And so the coaches will have their last say before we get the second half of action underway here at the Craggs Centre in Edinburgh. And with just 20 minutes left in this one, it will be a 10-point deficit that the Pride will look to cut back at in the second half. Rona, we've seen this in the last couple of weeks with Pride. You can never really count them out. Come back in that Essex game from, I believe it was like a 15-point deficit. And so they will really just be looking to cut back on this 10-point deficit in the third and fourth quarter.
Yep, I think, we're not in terrible foul trouble. Elise is sitting on 3. There's a couple of them on 2. Holly today's not sitting on any. But I think, conversely over the other side with Wildcats, they've got a few players on 2 fouls, so I think it's going to be another great second half of basketball, which I'm really looking forward to. I think, it's going to be key not letting Shumpert get into her stride again. She's so dangerous. She's got quite a low release, so it's another one of those ones you maybe don't think she's about to shoot, and the next thing you know, she's pulled the trigger. So a lot of good stuff to come.
Yep, definitely. And the Pride getting us back in action here in the second half. Patient offense towards the end of the second quarter really allowed Pride to get back into this one, as Pollyanna just misses the long 2 there. Freeman handling the ball now for the Wildcats. Shumpert drives, and I believe she's going to be called for out of bounds. It's been interesting to see Nottingham sharing the ball off the point so much today as they sit back into that 2-3, but Maud Ranger with the 3-pointer cuts the lead down to 7.
I think it's something about that end of the basket, trying to score underneath it.
Yeah, there must be a lid on that one. Yeah. And so Pride with it now, with a chance to cut the lead down to 5. Ella Docherty manoeuvring the ball screen. Good elbow jumper, but can't get it to fall. Comes up with a rebound. Shan Phillips driving to the basket, and she gets to the line again. A lot of coaches I know. Yeah. A lot of coaches I know use the number of free throw attempts as almost a key for how aggressive your team are being and looking to get to the line. And I think Shan Phillips is someone those coaches would love to have in their team because she's so good at drawing contact around the basket.
No, definitely. I think that put Eka Brown to her 3rd as well, so that's going to force her to have to sit, which is a good thing for Pride.
And that'll be frustrating for her because she did sit out most of the second quarter due to her foul count. Costa, turnaround jumper, just short.
I guess, that's with Praise coming in and playing bigger minutes, that she's maybe not had to manage her fouls as much, if she was coming off behind Jasmine Joyner. But it's definitely going to have to be something going down the stretch she's going to have to watch for.
Shumpert forcing a shot over Maud, can't get it to go. And so Shan Phillips brings the ball up for the Pride. Swings to Kerr. Kerr trying to force it in traffic, can't get it to go. And again, Pride
heavy denial.
Yeah, trying to force the ball out of Shumpert's hands. Shumpert coming off the ball screen, pulls it deep 3, can't get it to go. Lundqvist with the rebound. And manages to finish underneath the basket.
Nice piece of footwork, a little fake high, turned herself back inside to go down low.
Eva Kerr trying to back down on Lundqvist, can't get it to go, and so Freeman with the 2. And the lead is back at 10. Pride just being patient with it, trying to get an opening here as Maud receives the ball screen from Kerr. Good fight over from Shumpert to stay in front, and Shan Phillips with a step through, can't get it to go. And Schumpert in the open floor, but a great chase down from Maud Rongier, and she manages to get a hand to it.
Well defended by Maud there. Good hustle getting back.
And Shan Phillips with the score as she was fouled. And again, a signature and one from Shan Phillips as she'll go to the line to convert.
Yeah, like you say, she's one of those players that's great at manipulating the defenders, drawing the foul as she goes up, and she's great at finishing strong, you know, in and around the basket.
Shan can't get that one to go. And so Costa with the ball for Nottingham. Feeds Lundqvist on the turnaround jumper, gets it to go. Lundqvist is so versatile in that post. Has a good back to the basket game, and also showing there she can face up and shoot it. Costa driving to the hoop, and a foul on Ella Docherty.
Yeah, Lundqvist, you know, she can cause some problems down there. She's able to shoot that mid-ranger, and she's quite comfortable posting up and working it down for herself.
Costa converts the and one. So a 13-point lead for the Wildcats with just over 6 minutes to play. Maud with it on the far side. Ball screen from Tweedy. And Maud manages to find the rolling Tweedy, and she converts underneath the basket. Schumpert with it now, guarded by Rongier. Kicked out to Costa. Costa brings it out, looking to gather momentum on Phillips, but opts for the 3-point shot. No good. Ella picked off on the crossover by Tia Freeman. And Sophie Loughran did a great job of not fouling there and just staying in front. Making it a hard shot for Freeman. Ball screen from Tweedy again. Kicked out to Rongier. Tweedy with it in the post. Shan Phillips cutting underneath.
Got to get back on that.
Yeah, that's a frustrating one. 2 easy baskets for Schumpert already in the second half in the transition.
Seems to have, it's quite frenetic at the moment. We're very much up and down, whether we're scoring or not, both sides. You know, that finish on a score, that one, but there's been a few where, you know, the defense has been hustling down. It's a bit end to end, but like tennis at the moment, you're wondering if, I didn't quite catch who called that timeout, but the coach is just saying, you know, breathe, take a moment, set it up, run it through. There's no need to rush on everything.
Yeah, definitely. And I think from the scoreboard over there in the corner, it was a timeout called from Donnie McDonald. And so Pride will talk things over, try and get back in transition. Rose Harvey with the ball for the Pride. Finds Loughran on the far side. Shan Phillips cutting once again, kicks to Harvey, but she shuffled her feet to try and get that one to count as a 3, and so a travel is called. And so Full of Wayne bring the ball up for Nottingham, guarded by Leslie. Both teams going deep into their bench on this one. Schumpert fakes pull behind the ball screen and gets the jumper to go. Sean Phillips kicks to Rongier. And a foul as Elise Tweedy was jostling for position with Lundqvist, and Lundqvist will pick up the foul for the Wildcats. Sophie Leslie finds Pollyanna open in the corner, and so Schumpert fouls Rongier. Rongier, first time at the line tonight. This is the first that makes the second. And Ola Wayne manages to get Sophie Leslie turning. She brings the ball up, and Pryor with the 3. Rongier off the ball screen from Story. Sean Phillips driving in the paint and manages to get a step through, but it's going to be called as a travel. Wasn't too sure on that one, but maybe a bit biased. As Ola Wayne brings the ball up for Nottingham. Sean Phillips with the hustle play and gets a jump ball call, and the ball will stay with the Pride. I think Donnie is agreeing with me on that one, Rona, with the travel call on Sean. Rongier finds Phillips on the far side. Kicked out to Rongier with the long jumper, but can't get it to go, and the ball is tipped out of bounds off of Wildcats, and so it will be Pride basketball. Bit of a melee underneath the basket, and Shan Phillips comes up with a board and was fouled in the process, and so she'll go to the line.
Yeah, Sophie Leslie, a player we don't see a huge amount of minutes from, but whenever she comes on, you notice she's there, she's making a good impact. She's bleeding herself in well and embedding herself within that team, and be wanting to push herself up the rotation, no doubt.
Yeah, definitely Sophie, who played high school basketball over in Canada and back in her home nation. playing for the Pride. Shan Phillips goes 1 for 2. Good foul from Maud as Schumpert had an open lane there. Defense just hadn't really set in transition. And so Schumpert will go to the line. And so the Wildcats, with those free throws, extend to 16 points. Phillips with it. Ball screen. Driving to the basket, but the foul's going to be on the floor. Hand check on the switch of the screen.
Turned that corner. You never covered this in Rory's rules that they're in the penalty, so she'll now get 2 shots.
And so Costa will check back into the game for the Wildcats as Ola Wayne goes to the bench. Costa bringing the ball up for the Wildcats. Schumpert playing cat and mouse off of the screen. Pulls a deep 3, can't get it to go. But a steal from Costa. And then fouled by Tweedy, and so ball will stay in.
Foul.
Yeah, giving the ball up underneath your own basket. It will be Nottingham ball on the baseline.
That'll put her on to 4, I'm sure.
At least Tweedy with the block comes up with the ball, and Dory with it dumps it down into Tweedy in the post.
Her finishing around the basket's really come on this season. It's been good to see.
Lundqvist with a nice Euro step in traffic gets it to fall. Yeah, and as you mentioned, Delise has been great tonight around the basket. 4 points for her in this one. Dory kicks to Leslie with the long 3, banks it in. Banks it in as the shot clock goes off. And Shan Phillips hunting for the block there and picks up the foul.
Just need to try and get their feet across, get them set, and blocks are great, but good defense is better. Less likely to be called for that foul.
Yeah, I think the argument as a player is, you know, blocks make highlight reels, but unfortunately fouls don't. Ella swings it to Story. Great patient offense from the Pride in this second half.
Lovely
Phillips
cutting as
fouled
well.
once again. Yeah.
Playing well with each other, you know, working the ball around, taking their time.
Yeah. And Shan Phillips will have a chance put her points tally to 20 for the night, and she does. So a 20-point game for Shan Phillips.
Just like that.
Virgin on a double-double, just 2 rebounds, and with 11 minutes still to play, I think that will be more than attainable for Shan.
A lot of people down there on the floor. Always makes me nervous under the basket.
And so timeout called by Kenrick Liburd, and Nottingham will have a chance to draw something up underneath the basket.
I think, we were talking about fouls, and it's always good to mention. I mean, Shan sitting on 3, Ellis sitting on 3, Elise is on 4, and that's 3 players who've been playing well tonight. So I think we'll just have to think about how they're going to manage that just into this last quarter to keep their team as effective and as efficient as possible. And you've got Praise on the other side, who's sitting on 4 at the moment. I think, she'll be frustrated, but she can still come out and do a job in this last quarter, because she has certainly made her mark on it so far.
Freeman with it at the top, guarded by Docherty. Siobhan Pryor puts up the 3 with the shot clock winding down, and that comes off a Pride hand, and so it'll be Nottingham's ball once again. Costa in the corner gets a jump shot to go. Ella brings the ball up for Pride. Great 2 from Pollyanna Story shooting over Costa. Yeah.
Just got to get back on that though.
Pride doing a great job of being so patient with their offense in the second half. With 6.4 left, they'll have a chance to cut this lead down. What do you think the look's going to be here, Rona?
I think it's going to be inbounded, looking for Maud or Polly or Ella or Taryn.
Taryn
One of them
looks to throw up the shot on the buzzer, and no good. Yeah, called it spot on. And so that will be the end of the third quarter. Caledonia Pride trail Nottingham Wildcats 59-71.
I think you'd agree, Rory, it's been a solid quarter there from Pride. Nottingham doing their thing as well, but Pride keeping with them. Sort of shown a slightly different side to themselves today, with that patient offence, lots of cutting, not necessarily having to rely on their running game. And that's been great to see, because it's difficult to get into half-court sets, especially at times when they've been undersized, but I think they're doing a good job of working it around and finding those good looks and getting after the boards.
Yeah, definitely, and I think we both said in the first half that in the open floor, Nottingham were managing to get easy buckets and stop Pride from scoring on the other end. And so with that adjustment of slowing the offense down, they've been able to get some really good looks. Found Shan underneath the basket, Polly with the mismatch as well. And so 12 points is nothing in a basketball game, and it will hopefully be an exciting game to the very end here.
Yeah. I mean, Nottingham only took that quarter by 2 points, 1 basket. So I think that's shown just how evenly matched these teams are tonight.
Tough run of games coming up for the Pride as well. They obviously played Nottingham tonight, but then we'll go on the road to face London Lions this weekend, and then Manchester at home before seeing London once again. Always going to be tough when you face the 2 trophy finalists in back-to-back fixtures.
Most definitely. And I mean, I know London Lions dropped a game, their first game of the season last week, but you can see they're feeling themselves. You can see, their team's just coming together and clicking, and I think they're quite a formidable force at the moment. So that'll be a challenging time, but I have no doubt that, Pride will rise to the challenge and they'll take the game to them.
And so Nottingham with the ball. Schumpert brings it up and finds Pryor. Freeman with it now, driving on Docherty. Couldn't get the layup to go, and so Pollyanna Story with it on Siobhan Pryor. Looks to shoot over, but Sham Phillips with the rebound. Can't get the putback to go. So Nottingham come up with it in transition. Ella does a good job of putting pressure on Freeman, and so Pride will have the ball. Once again, slowing it down. They'll look to get a good look here. Good look from Ella.
In and out. Yep. I think you actually heard the team cheer. You heard the oh. We all thought that one was
I think that was just me, Rona.
Or was that just you?
Yeah.
Excited.
And Maud kicks the ball to Phillips, driving on Pryor. Kick back out to Maud. And the shot clock winding down. Maud gets the left-handed scoop to go. And so that will put the lead back down to 10. And just hope Pride chip away at this lead and get it to 5 and make this a really close game in the fourth quarter. Schumpert off with that attempt, and so it'll be Pride ball.
Can't take it down to single figures.
Okay, on the fourth side. Sham Phillips is open underneath the basket. Ella with the left-handed drive, and a great finish from Ella.
We're liking this left-hand side tonight, Pride.
Ball's in with Lundqvist, and it's going to be a travel as she looked to get comfortable on Elise Tweedy in the post.
I think they're hoping, aren't they, to get that shot. They know Elise doesn't want to foul or draw the foul and put her out the game. And she did well to do neither. She stood her ground, caused the travel.
Sham Phillips in and out, kicks out to Ranger, and that is a huge 3 for Maud Ranger, and that will cut the ball game down to 5. Schumpert with
doing a great job tonight.
Drives aggressive. Gets the and one call on Ranger.
That is a great finish. To absorb that amount of contact and finish strong like that. I'm not usually one for players falling on the floor, but you could see, Maud did her up and tried to stop her. So great work by Schumpert to finish that and get the foul.
One of those ones, we've seen it with Pride in recent weeks. You get the ball game back to 5. You've really got to go on and try and get your noses in front. You just hope they can come up with a good basket here and then maybe a stop, try and eat that lead back down. to the lower end.
There's that left leg.
Lange came up with a rebound but lost the handles, and so it would be Nottingham ball.
Been put under a lot of pressure.
Good on-ball pressure there from the Pride, but Nottingham managed to find a way out of it. Lundqvist with the screen. Kick back to Schumpert. Back into Edinburgh, and she finds a cutting Lundqvist underneath the basket for the easy 2, and the lead will be back at 10. Cam Phillips driving on Lundqvist, fading away from the basket, couldn't get it to fall. Great tip from Sham Phillips on the pass, and Pride managed to get a stop. Pride once again patient in the offense here as Sham Phillips maneuvers the ball screens. Looks to go through her step through, and it's going to be a foul on the floor.
Like the captain, Siobhan there, just asking what the call was, and the coach as well at the side.
Good to see Kenrick Liebert back on the sidelines. He missed a couple of games just with the restrictions, and so good to see him back on the sidelines for the Wildcats. Story takes the ball screen. She'll look to get a shot off as the shot clock winds down, heaves it up, can't get it to go, and it'll be a shot clock violation. That one didn't touch the iron.
Nottingham did well there, not to switch off or lose their focus.
Costa with it, guarded by Cummings. Kicked out on the near side to Pryor, and she can shoot those. Gets it to go. Ella Docherty with the turnover on this near side, and so with that it will be a timeout to Pride.
Yes, I think like you mentioned, Rory, maybe a little bit frustrating for the players. They bring it back to within 5, and then all of a sudden, they're down 13 again. It's just about how do they break the back of that, to just make sure they stay focused, get back in D, don't allow any quick transitions. I know you're keen on the stats, and I was having a look, and Pride's are, and their fast break points, they're at 14. Nottingham are at 23. If you'd asked me to call that before the start of the game, I'd maybe have had them flipped. I'd had Pride on more fast break points than Nottingham, so that's maybe something they need to try and stem the flow of from Nottingham's side. But you can see, Chelsea, she's playing. You can see when the Pride are scoring, she sometimes takes it personally, and you can see she comes down the court with even more determination, doing things like drawing that and one or a quick 3. So it's trying to keep her off her stride as well. But Pride are doing a lot of good things really well, and it's just about tidying those other little parts of the game up.
Yeah, definitely. And Schumpert with 22 points in this one, averaging 20.4 points on the season. And so nothing new from her there.
Next couple of minutes, make or break this game now.
Good defense from Pride, but on the entry, Eva Kerr picks up a foul. Just had her hand on the hip of the Nottingham post. Sian Phillips, good straight up defence underneath the basket there, and Nottingham will have to kick it back out. But Igaraba cutting to the basket, posts, gets Kerr pinned, and so the basket will count, and she will go to the line for a chance at a 3-point play.
Very good at that Nottingham, showing high and then diving low. Pride are taking that step up into the lane to deny them. And then their passers able to find them inside.
And so she gets that free throw to drop, and this lead will extend out to 16. Sian Phillips kicks out to Maud Rongier. Docherty tied up with it, and Rongier forces up a shot with 8 seconds left on the clock, and so Nottingham pulling down the board. Chelsea Schumpert kicks to Costa on the far side.
Good stepping across in there into the lane by the Pride.
And Cummins driving baseline, kicked out, makes its way to Maud Rongier after a couple of deflections, and Ella Docherty with the three. And it comes off. Praise underneath the basket, and so it'll be Pride ball. Struggling to get it in there, but Cummins finds Rongier. Rongier open for the long two. Back iron, and Lundqvist comes down with the board. Foley on the defensive glass for the Pride goes coast to coast, and it's going to be a offensive foul. Foley driving to the basket, but Lundqvist gets in front and takes the charge.
It's Polly's first of the night, and I think she's playing well tonight. She's playing with confidence. Those fouls happen, but she's not in any foul trouble, so she'll be able to shrug it off and get on with the next play.
Double screen at the high point there, and Schumpert blocked underneath the basket, and so Rongier comes down the floor with it. In the corner now with Phillips, drives to the lane and gets the shot to go. Wildcats doing a great job of just leaking out early, and Schumpert with the quarterback pass there, trying to find Lundqvist, but no luck that time, and so it'll be Pride ball. Shan off the ball screen, gets the easy two to go. Costa drives it Docherty, and well called on Docherty as she catches the arm of the Wildcats guard.
That'll push her on to 4. Just over 3 minutes left. It's not a huge issue, but it's not ideal.
And so Sian Phillips gathering momentum with that step through, tries to get it to go, but can't get it to go, and it's going to be a foul called on Sian Phillips, and she looked to jam the ball handler. I think the referees are going to talk this one over. There was an element of kind of elbows there as Lundqvist tried to break free from the pressure. Yeah, I think they're going to call it on Lundqvist. To be honest, I don't think she can really argue with that one. She did kind of throw an elbow out ever so slightly there. Nothing malicious, but just trying to break free from the contact. Sean Phillips drives. Good step through, but can't get it to go. And Lundqvist comes up with a rebound, but Costa was standing out of bounds as she caught the ball.
It's that court line over there again.
Mongier with it in the corner, goes behind the back, feeds it into the post with Story. Story, turn around, couldn't get it to go. Schumpert now coming down the floor with it. She'll look to attack. Nice little jumper in the paint from Schumpert. So the lead will be at 16.
Polly had a nice pin there inside.
Sham with the head fake. Looks to drive to her left hand, but can't get it to go.
Technical foul, I think, down on the bench.
Yeah, technical foul on the Wildcats. And so Sham Phillips will shoot the free throw.
Much debate going on, Rory, much debate.
Yeah, Sham Phillips can't get the technical free throw to go, but Pride will have the basketball. Oh, apologies, no they won't.
Just one shot, no possession.
Schumpert with it. Good defense from Sham Phillips. And it will be Pride basketball with 2.5 minutes left in this one. Sham Phillips drives baseline, kick to Leslie, but it was tipped, and so it will be Pride basketball underneath the basket. Pass picked off on the inbounds. Oleana Story with good on-ball defense. She's going to get called for a technical foul on the flop.
For flopping. Yeah, maybe she should just have tried to keep her feet and not tried to anticipate drawing the charge. You just kind of get the feeling, Rory, don't you, the game, although it's not 1 or 2 points in it, it just seems to have got a little bit lively in the past sort of minute or so, and you just hope, you know, the players can keep it calm enough, because you don't want to do anything silly or rash.
Yeah, definitely back-to-back technicals for both teams, and so the technical free throw goes in for Nottingham. Pride just not as patient as we saw in the third quarter here with that offense. Timeout called on the floor. With just over 2 minutes left in this one. The Wildcats lead 87-70.
Yeah, I think good time to call a timeout. You know, just settle the players. You want your players just to get through the game, get to the end. You know, try and calm tempers down, bit of deep breathing, whatever it is needs to happen. I'm all for being feisty and getting into a game, but you want to just keep it at a sort of a simmer, not let it boil over. wonder if either of these teams have the same rule as the team I play on, that if you get a T, you have to bring the cakes to the next training session. Makes us look a bit strange.
Yeah, I won't ask if you've had to buy a lot of cakes in your time.
Once, Rory, once. And that was a misunderstanding.
Debate, as you would say.
No, that was just the first game back in Scotland after 3 years away. I'd forgotten.
So a good free from Sophie Leslie there in the corner, and Pride cut the lead back down to 14. And so the shot put up from Nottingham there falls short, and Pride will have the basketball with just under a minute and a half to play. Ella Docherty finds Story at the top. Rolls off the ball screen, looks to pull it. Can't get that one to go.
Nice look though by Rose.
Shumpert with the crossover, kicks out. Macy Evson with the three, can't get it to go. Sophie Leslie in the open floor, looks to slow it down for the Pride and get an open look. Finds Story open on the three, but no good.
Good rebound there by Ella.
And so it will be Nottingham ball with 42 seconds left. Shumpert with the ball for the Wildcats. Guarded by Loughran. Shumpert kicked out to Evson again, and she gets the three to drop this time. And so with that, the Wildcats will hit the 90 mark. Ella Docherty with it. Nice jumper from Ella. She gets that one to go. Another great performance from Ella Docherty in this one. And she extends out to 15 points on the night. Shumpert driving to the basket and gets that one to go, and that will be the end in this one, as the Nottingham Wildcats too strong in the end for Caledonia Pride as they win 92 to 75, and the Pride will go on the road to play against London Lions this weekend, and then on the 4th of April we will see you back here at the Crag Centre in Edinburgh as Caledonia Pride take on the Manchester Mystics. Once again, thank you all for watching, and we look forward to having you along soon to another WBBL Pride basketball game.